Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics as Non-Classic. This is episode number 672 and Doubleshot number 576. Those of you curious exactly why I didn't put any more videos yesterday after the One Piece review, because I got sort of addicted to playing Assassin's Creed 2, and I got through pretty much like 80% of the game in the past few days. So today, as for the next week, I'm taking a break from playing it, and I'm just going to do my reviews I've been neglecting on. This will be the first of 3 straight comic corners I'm going to do. Alright? And this one's got two Nightwing trades. I'll talk about Grayson's in another video. Okay. First up, it's Nightwing Volume 3, Death of the Family. Collecting Nightwing Volume 3, issues 13 and 18, Batman 17, and a story from Young Romance number 1. Now, when it comes to particular issues themselves, for the Nightwing issues, all but the first 2 issues are written by Kyle Higgins. Yeah, for some reason, Tom DeFalco takes over for a couple issues, despite the fact taking place during the event Death of the Family, though his book doesn't get involved with the event into issue 15. Tom DeFalco has Nightwing take on Lady Shiva, who, if I'm thinking, Lady Shiva, you mean the smoking hot woman who's the mother of Cassandra Cain? Yeah, for some reason, I have no idea why in the world they did this to her. They have her dressed like this. Like, okay, this is Lady Shiva? Really? You can't even tell when this is because she's so covered up. Oh yeah, and it's also stated in here, it's very implied that she is about the same age Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson is supposed to be 23. And yeah, it's really bizarre. It's not a little story it's sort of a follow-up to issue 0 of the series, which is actually not in this trade. That was actually in the previous volume. The artwork is still done by Eddie Burrows, which, by the way, after the Death of Family issues, he leaves the series and is replaced by a different artist. Yep, Eddie Burrows is gone from the series with issue 18. Brett Booth takes over with issue 19 up until the final issue of the run. Death of the Family has the Joker break out two characters who were kind of the main villains of the first arc of this run. It's kind of like Kyle Higgins knew that he was going to move Nightwing out of Gotham City, because I'm going to talk about what happens in Volume 4 in a minute. So he decided to wrap up a couple loose ends from that volume by having the Joker kill off the main villain of the first arc and the woman who was Dick Grayson's childhood crush who was working with him. Yeah, Joker kills them both. Yep, kills them both. And yeah, there's even an issue in here that deals with Nightwing's reaction to the death of Damian. Yep. These are great issues. Highly recommend them. I'm going to give this book a 9.5 out of 10. It's really, really good. Oh, and yes, this doesn't happen to Grayson himself. It happens to Haley Circus. Yeah, at the end of the first story arc, Dick Grayson bought an amusement mile and turned it into a home for Haley Circus because, well, the time fell down, so the guy gave her some money. So because the Joker went after them, the place was shut. The place was blown up, but Haley Circus left, and apparently the son of Haley Circus, Haley's son, apparently wants nothing to do. He doesn't want a circus to do anything to do with Dick Grayson anymore because what happened with the Joker. Yeah, that's basically what it is for that. So, as for the Young Romance story, it's just a story for it's a tale featuring Dick Grayson trying to get involved with Barbara Gordon. Yep, it's really good. Also, for some reason, when Joker Jokerized his child crush Rhea, he basically dressed her up as a female version of Nightwing, which is a nod to the pre-Flashpoint, which had a female Nightwing, but she was only around for a few issues, and then she disappeared, never to be seen again. It's really bizarre. Alright, next up it is Nightwing Volume 4, Second City. Collecting issues 19 and 24 of Nightwing Volume 3. Written by Kyle Higgins, artwork by Brett Booth. Yep, he takes over as the artist of the series. Yeah. Also, at the end of the previous volume, it sets up the event of these issues here, where Sonia Brunch, who is the daughter of Tony Zuko, the man who murdered Dick Grayson's parents. Yeah, it turns out Tony Zuko's alive and well in Chicago. Oh yeah, and Chicago is very crooked. Yeah, the way Kyle Higgins writes Chicago in here, it's right. He writes Chicago as just as bad as Blighthaven was at the start of Chuck Dixon's run for Nightwing back in the 90s. Yeah, so Dick Grayson goes to Chicago, somehow gets an apartment. Yeah, this comes completely out of nowhere. Yeah, it's kind of like this trade was missing some pages, so like it kind of like felt it was missing something. Like it's like how like Dick Grayson arriving in Chicago, finding probably somehow he's got an apartment now, and also the villain of the story is the prankster, which when I read up about him, who he is, he's a Superman villain. As for what he's doing here now, this is actually the prankster's first post-Flash experience. Also, those of you curious what the prankster looks like, let's see if I can find him here. Also, gotta love Brett Booth's artwork, the way he draws Nightwing. It looks really good. It's also great the fact you got a chance to draw him again for Dan Abbott's run for Titans. Yep. Got a chance to draw him there. Let's see. Here is the prankster. Yep. Oh yeah, and this is actually the original. This is actually the original Golden Age prankster reimagined post Flashpoint. I kind of get the reason why the Kyle Higgins decided to use it, because he wanted to use somebody who's not a Batman villain for Nightwing to face off against, and he wanted to have Nightwing have his own city. Also, while this was going on, Batman was dealing with Batman Eternal. Not kidding, he was dealing with Batman Eternal. So, yeah, those of you curious where was Nightwing during the whole events of that, he was off in Chicago. That's why his book didn't have anything to do with Batman Eternal. Yep, this is actually the second to last trade that collects issues in this volume, because next volume is the last one, which collects the last 6 issues of this volume. Excuse me, it's very epic, and it also has some shock relations, and apparently Dick Grayson briefly works with his parents' killer to take down the crooked mayor and, of course, take down Prankster. Prankster himself does not return after this story arc. I think he returns like once after this, and that's it. But these are really good issues, and it felt like the start of a new era for Nightwing, because with the way it was in the last volume, it felt like wrapping up the first era of what Kyle Higgins was doing. But I think the reason why it changed his plans of why the whole Chicago era didn't last very long in Page of Nightwing. It only lasted like 11 issues. Yeah, only 11 issues, then he left. And the last issue was written by the creative team we did, Grayson. But yeah, it felt like a new status quo with this particular thing, but it didn't last very long. Thanks in part to Forever Evil. Yep, that basically kind of ruined whatever Kyle Higgins' plans was with the book. If I ever get a chance to see him again, I'm going to ask him, what was his plans for Nightwing's time in Chicago, if in fact also this was going to be what he wanted to do with the book. Yep. Yeah. Brett Booth is not he's the main artist in here, but the other artists are Will Conrad and Norp Ram. And also, Brett Booth and Norp Ram are the cover artists with the collection who do this very cover with Andrew Dahlhaus, who's the colorist. And it looks really good. I love this cover. And I love the fact Dick Grayson's in a real life, in an action or city aside from Gotham. I was kind of hoping Bloodhaven when I was reading this, when it's coming out. But Chicago was still good. I mean, Chicago barely gets featured. I think the last time Chicago was a setting for a superhero series that I could think of, I mean, because I of course did a review of it, was Supergirl back in the 80s. Though I wasn't reading at that point because I wasn't born yet. It was very recently that. These issues are great. 9.5 out of 10. Really, really good. Yeah. And also apparently Chicago had this thing where apparently all vigilantes were deemed illegal. And yet apparently, yeah, all because of another vigilante because he accidentally killed somebody. Apparently the whole city hates vigilantes. And it turns out that, yeah, it was all based upon a lie. Yeah. And the reason why and here's the thing, the mayor was actually you see, Tony Zuko was actually working for the mayor, because here's the thing, Tony Zuko was cellmates with the mayor's brother. Yes. Not kidding about that. But this is good. Next review is going to be 2 more books. One is a monster of a book, and I'll talk about what it is in the next episode, which will be episode number 673 and Doubleshot number 577. Okay? But until I see you in the next review, bye.